would you say Living Free is for?
Everybody. Everybody.
Yeah.
My life was a mess, and I was struggling mightily with feelings of depression, failure, anger.
I moved back here just to be a part of this church again because I knew that I could find help here, but I was still bound by so many things, and especially drugs and alcohol. And I showed up to the church one Wednesday night all messed up, and some people and some staff and some pastoral staff from the church showed up that night in my hospital room, and I ended up becoming a part of the Living Free program.
I've actually been a Christian about 30 years now, and spent a time where I had walked away from the Lord. Was in a really bad car accident. It left me with a brain injury, but the depression was the worst thing that I dealt with.
God truly set me free from the bondage that I was in, and it's a true freedom.
I felt like I had lost hope, and when I came to Living Free, I feel like I got that hope back again.
We know what it feels like to have our marriage completely restored, better than restored.
My life is rooted and grounded in what Christ has done for me and the life that He has freely given me and the hope that I have now. I'm not living in despair anymore.
God has the power, the ability, and the absolute love and forgiveness for me to be someone that He can use again.
And I saw God move in miraculous ways, restored a relationship with my ex-wife to the point where we reconciled our relationship and are now married.
If you are sitting in your hole of fear thinking it is too dark and too deep, there is one hope and one light and one promise that I got in my life, and that was Jesus Christ.
You know, I'd rather not talk about my past. My testimony is what Christ has done. The freedom that Jesus has given me is amazing, and that's what I'd rather talk about.
There is nothing greater on this earth, in this skin, than to see somebody set free.
I was living life on the surface, but now I've opened my heart and my soul to God, you know, and I just let Him come in like a flood now. It's transformed my life.
Lindsay family, scene one, take one.
Well, we're the Lindsay family, and our lives have been blessed with cherished kids through foster and adoption.
You did that very well.
Good.
We started coming to James River soon after we moved to Springfield. We instantly felt at home with the worship, at home with the kids' programs, and preaching and teaching was right out of the Word, and it was really home.
We have always wanted to adopt. When we first got married, we knew that we wanted to have a big family. So we adopted 3 times before we moved to Missouri.
Last year at Vision Sunday, we were going down through the 10 steps on the card, and there was Cherished Kids, and something in my heart just said, oh, that's good. Well, having it on the program and having it come to full fruition a year later is just an amazing journey. God began to give us a little piece of vision in pursuing adoption again, another expanding of God's vision, and so adopting a sibling group together has been just being willing to say yes to that first little move of the Spirit ultimately led to saying yes to the fullness of His plan for our family. Over the last 6 months, God has really used the foster care process for us.
Each of the kids that we've had in our home in foster care, although they've been with us a very short time, have been able to feel the love of Christ through James River. And it's been on our heart that each of them would come to know Christ while they live with us, to be able to minister to them, to give them a Bible, to give them their first Bible. And each of them has come to know Christ before they've gone home. And that's been a real blessing to us.
God doesn't ask you to have everything perfect and set up in your life before you say yes. He's looking for hearts that are open.
It really did start with just opening up our minds and our hearts to what the doors that God had for us, and sitting there in the chair at James River and saying, you know, I wonder if there's something we could do. There's a need that can be met by everybody.
If you don't say yes to that first little piece, God can't pour out the blessing and the grace for you to walk through the choices that He has for you down the road. You know, now I look back on it and say, I can't imagine my life any other way.
It's been a total blessing, and God has tripled our blessing.